All right, so we're back out at the house in the corn that was no more, I guess. But anyway, we're out here. This is the beginning of week 9, August the 18th, 2025. And the concrete guys wound up, I was hoping they'd be here last week. It just didn't work out. Where everything got mixed up on this schedule with the sinkholes, that pushes them back and, you know, messes up their schedule. So they had to run around, try to do some other work. And they just weren't able to make it back last week. They got here this morning and they have pinned out all the corners. They've built batter boards. These batter boards are used to pull string lines in between the pins set on them. And that way they can pull all the wall lines in. So their next thing tomorrow, they will actually start digging the footings tomorrow. There's a lot of steel goes in these footings. These guys actually turn all their vertical up into the footing. There'll be water stop placed in between the footing and the wall. So they do a lot of prep. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they'll be probably digging all day tomorrow, maybe finishing up a little bit on Wednesday, and then putting in Wednesday and Thursday, putting steel in and getting everything ready for a Friday pour. There'll be a footing inspection on Friday, done by the building department here in Warren County, and then they'll pour those footings and start next week on actually erecting the wall forms. So hopefully by the end of this week we'll have concrete footings in place, and it's potential that the end of next week they might even be pouring the actual walls. So we'll have to kind of see how that shakes out, but that's what I would hope for. Typically that's about what they would do, is that next week they'd be building those forms and they would be able to pour those walls the following week, or next week they'd be able to pour them near the end of the week. That following week they'd be wrecking forms. We could go ahead with some of the concrete block work we've got to do and be able to keep this thing moving forward and get a little bit closer to framing. So we're wrapping up week 9 on the house in the corn. It's not a lot, it's kind of a short video today, but the excavation work is done. The guys are there working on the footings, and they have got that excavation for the majority of the footings done this week. They've been tying steel in. They're going to be pouring Monday of week 10. It would be Monday, August the 25th, that we'll be pouring the footings. Their wall forms will show up on site next week, and they'll begin erecting the wall forms, getting ready for that pour. There's a chance that they might pour those towards the end of that week. It's also pretty likely it'll fall into the week after that. And from there we'll move into plumbing and a lot of other things that have to go on to get ready for the framers. And so we're hoping that we're somewhere in the 3 to 5 week range for the framers to get on site. So these next few weeks we'll be watching them set up those forms, pour more concrete, and then we may have a little bit of kind of dead time that'll take place in between those things. So we'll keep you posted. I hope that you'll like the video, subscribe to the channel, and keep checking back as we work through this entire process that will take at least a year, if not a little bit more. Reality is this is probably a 15 to 18 month job because of the size of this house. And so keep up with us, and we'll see you next time.